Let us calm down our mind for 1 minute. Okay, so please calm down. Take out the breath, relax. If you're still eating, try to finish. Alright. You 1 minute. You set up?
1 minute. Do you need a timer?
Okay, so relax yourself. Alright, so move on, please.
Oh, well, okay. Well, it's about art and architecture, and what's it called? There's three types of buildings that are associated with Buddhism, and they're called viharas, stupas, and chaitas. And stupas are basically monuments that commemorate important locations that are associated with Buddha and events of his life. And they also house relics that belong to him, like his teeth and all that. Viharas are also known as monasteries, where they house the monks. And chaitas are basically worship halls where you worship his teachings and stuff.
Where is that?
Huh?
Where is that?
Oh, okay. Worship halls are what?
Which location? India?
Oh yeah, they're all in India.
Of course.
They were all built by Asoka.
But
and
where?
Zambada.
Not a south or
You
know?
I know the names of the cities.
What's that?
It's Ajanta, Nasik,
Exactly,
Karli.
Cape, right? In far west, the west.
Oh yeah.
Alright, thank you. Alright, let's go to number 2. Yes.
Yours no.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But,
So number 2 is about monarchs in India, and one of the greatest monarchs in India is called Kanishka, and he is similar to Asoka. He started off as a ruler of his own kingdom, and what he did was he was trying to unite all of India, and through his efforts he incorporated his passion for Buddhism in his efforts, and he ended up building a lot of stupas, monasteries, relic towers, and other Buddhist monuments around India. And he also opened up new missionary pathways in Tibet, China, and Japan.
You want to spell the name, you know?
Kanishka, Kanishka.
Right?
SHKA. KA.
KA. Right? From Kushan, okay? Kushan Emperor, and with Ganesha. This is huge country here. This is a whole huge country. And it's start from 30 to 375, and they have what? What's most important? One of the Kushan emperors had to convent the 4 Buddhist council. Remember? That's most important event. And later, the other dynasty, they did not support Buddhism much. But Kushan, Ashoka and Kushan is considered as the most popular, famous Buddhist emperor. Okay, number 3, please. Number 3. Buddha's number 3. No. Okay, number 3. Buddhism and monarchs in China. Okay. So let me ask you, before you came to the class, who think that Buddhism started in China? Especially remember last time we discussed about the Happy Buddha. Remember that? Someone, many people, they thought that Happy Buddha is the historical Buddha, right? That's where many people they thought that Buddhism started in China. But actually Buddhism started in China around 1st, 2nd BCE during the Han Dynasty. Who studied Chinese history? Who know Chinese history? Oh, okay. You learn some part of Buddhism, Chinese Buddhism?
Not much.
Not much, huh?
No. A little bit about the temples, but not much.
Okay. You been in China before? Okay. So you start from Han Dynasty, and then there is a story about an emperor. He has a dream of a golden man. And so when he wake up, he told his ministers, and his ministers said, well, in the West, that's meaning in India, there was a man who was called Buddha. So that's from that time on, he sent many ambassadors going to India to build up the culture bridge between China, or between Han Dynasty and some kingdoms, some small kingdoms in India, and remember last time we discussed about the Kumarajiva, the one who the famous translator. That is during the 4th century. And another story that relates to the king. I mean, you remember the Bodhidharma? We talked about Bodhidharma, right? The named Udi, the king that asked Bodhidharma about whether he has merit to build a temple, because of his effort to build a temple to support monks and not. So that's called Len Udi during the 5th or 6th century. And actually, he imitated Ashoka to become a Buddhist emperor. And somehow, one time, his palace or his cities were besieged. Was the enemy came to the country and they almost captured him. So he stayed in his palace to recite the sutra. So that's a form he in his view he could use some kind of miracle to defeat his enemy, but it didn't work.
Oh man.
No. So that's why And also there is famous we call sutra, but actually that's come from monks. His advisor that wrote for him. He has a flute. Somehow, when she was alive, she did believe in Buddhism, and she read all kind of karmas. So somehow, after she passed away, her spirit came back to him and asked him to help her out. So he could not do anything except to ask the monks who was his advisor to write what they call dependence. And if you know Vietnamese, we call Lương Hoàng Bảo Sám. That means the independence of the land emperor. That was written by his advisor, his Buddhist advisor. This is famous. And even he became a monk for a short period of time too. So he was as the first ever Chinese emperor to become a Buddhist monk, only in short periods of time, not for whole life. So that's what about Ling Wu Di. Okay, and later on, it's related to, remember we talked about Xuan Chan, remember last time, during the Han Dynasty? So he went to India and brought back too many sutra. Actually, according to Buddhism, according to Chinese Buddhist history, the Han Dynasty is considered as the peak or the most flourish of the traditions in China during the Han Dynasty. But later on, after the Han Dynasty, the song, the one, the meaning, and so forth, Buddhism gradually lost its influence on the people, but still now it's best everywhere. It's become one of the common religions in China. Okay, so number 4, please.
Tibetan Buddhism?
Yes.
Tibetan Buddhism follows 3 vehicles of Buddhism: the foundational vehicle, Mahayana, and Vajrayana. It is practiced in other places besides Tibet, including Mongolia, parts of India, Nepal, and parts of Russia. Tibetan Buddhism's goal is to become enlightened quickly to help all other sentient beings by incorporating Vajrayana with Mahayana. They believe that using Vajrayana helps them achieve enlightenment quicker, but it's dangerous if you're not qualified for it. The number of people that follow Tibetan Buddhism is between 10 and 20 million. The thing I thought was interesting about them is they have a system of incarnation for their lamas or gurus, who are tulkus. The current Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso, is the 14th reincarnation of the Bodhisattva of compassion, Avalokitesvara. I don't know that the Dalai Lama is the Bodhisattva of compassion. I find this fitting because from previous when I found that he's the one that's working towards equality and getting women ordained into the priesthood in Tibet, because they didn't have nuns at the beginning when they first got established there, so they weren't allowing them. But he's allowing them to be ordained from other traditions in Tibet. I don't know if that makes sense. So other traditions have it, and he's letting them do it for them. And then when the current Lama dies, the incarnation is found and taught by the students of the predecessor. And the other thing that I like about them is they believe in the oral transmission of their teachings. So they believe that, so it has to be passed down from person to person, and it all originated from the Buddha. So they're like a wave effect kind of thing. And then that's what I got.
So you have anything to ask? Yeah.
Anything to add?
Alright, so okay. Number 5, right? 4. Number 5, please. Number 5. Who's speaker? Who has number 5?
I didn't
yeah, please.
remember the numbers.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, so we have Buddhism in monarchs in Sri Lanka, and Buddhism first came to Sri Lanka in the 3rd century BCE,
and they actually have a celebration every year called the Poson Festival. P-O-S-O-N, I don't know how to say that properly. And it's like the celebrating of basically Buddhism coming to Sri Lanka. And it's held on a full moon either in May or June. And it is commemorating the day that, how do I say his name? The monk Mahayana came and actually converted the current king of Sri Lanka to Buddhism. And to commemorate it, people make pilgrimages from all over Sri Lanka to the capital of Anuradha. Okay, so I'm sorry, the names were hard. So they did that. Buddhism wasn't always super straightforward in Sri Lanka. It went through a number of splits actually. The first one happened during the 1st century BCE. And there was a royal patronage shift, and so a new group of monks from the Abhayagiri monastery decided to split from the original Sangha, and then they were one part of the reason for the split is they were a little more open to Mahayana teachings, which is different from what they originally believed. Another split happened in the 4th century CE. And again, it was under royal patronage as well. There wasn't as much information on that other than it happened when the Tavana community came around. It stayed split up in these three different little groups until during the 12th century, the king Parakarambha. I'm really sorry. I'm really bad at pronouncing the names. I feel bad.
That was good though.
But he wanted to kind of purify the groups in Buddhism back in Sri Lanka. So what they did is he brought them back together and united them under one monastic ruler again. Throughout this and everything that happened, there was a lot of European colonization that happened in Sri Lanka as well. And the people from Europe kept trying to convert all the Buddhists to Christianity. And they didn't have much success. They had a little bit, but overall Buddhism really just kind of stayed true. And there was even a whole big research in it when it came time for the anniversary. That was it 2500th anniversary of the Buddha's final passing was when they had a big research in Buddhism in Sri Lanka.
So, you work with her? Oh, yeah, you want to add anything?
I pretty much got the same thing. I don't know.
No.
Can't pronounce any of these words.
So bad. Yeah, that was.
Anyway, so please remember Mahayana. Please remember we talk about who is it? Remember?
Was it
He
last
was the
class?
son of Ashoka.
We talk about Mahayana, remember? Huh?
Is that Ashoka's daughter?
Yeah,
She was
Ashoka,
she's
son.
she's one of the first.
Yeah, the prince and his sister went to Sri Lanka to spread Buddhism. Yeah. So please remember, when you talk about Sri Lanka, you remember this thing. Yes?
Is he the one that killed Ashoka or whatever?
No, that's it. No.
Or is that a different emperor?
That's different. Yeah.
Okay.
So he became a monk and with his sister to bring Buddhism, and that's why they worship him as a patriarch, Buddhist patriarch in Sri Lanka. And also, for many centuries, in South Asia, like in Thailand, Burma, and so forth, because of the politics, geopolitics. So they have many kind of wars around the country. So somehow Buddhism got lost. And later on, when set out so the Thai kings and even the Burmese king sent their monks to Sri Lanka to study the Theravada traditions and brought back to the country. So these two, we'll talk about Burma and Thailand later on. Okay, Buddha is number six, right? What's the numbers, lady? 5, right?
Yeah, there were 5.
You know 5, right?
Yeah.
Number 6.
Yes, we did 5.
Yeah, number 6, please. Yes, please. What's number 6 about?
It's Buddhism and monarchies in
Yes.
Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
And so what I could find was that Buddhism arrived in Vietnam at around 200 CE, and there's lots of debate about whether or not it came from China or India first. But definitely by that time, it was being practiced, and mostly in the Mahayana tradition.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of syncretism between Confucianism and Buddhism due to China constantly trying to claim Vietnam
Yeah.
and culturally assimilate it. So then Zen Buddhism also sort of had syncretism within Vietnam. And there were several instances when Vietnamese kings would order the monks to not be monks anymore in order to help fight invaders from the north and stuff. And then at least twice China claimed Vietnam because of the geographical location. And also Vietnamese folk traditions assimilated into the Buddhist practices within Vietnam.
Okay. Who where's Vietnam? Where?
It's by Cambodia and Thailand, second from Asia.
Who born in Vietnam?
Oh my god.
Who born in Vietnam?
Me. Born in Vietnam?
Yeah.
I am.
Born in Vietnam? You do? Okay. All right. So, now here, please. You see here, this is the map here. India here, can you see? China here and Vietnam here. Okay. So, according to many Buddhist historians, they propose or postulate that there's 2 routes. That's called maritime route. That's back to China, this maritime here. And the other one is Silk Road. So through maritime buildings arrived in Vietnam around 1st century. Because of Chinese occupation until the 10th century, Vietnam became an independent country. But under the guidance of Buddhism, because at that time there were many Buddhist monks. They were scholars and practitioners too. So because they have the spirit of independency, so they did not, even they know much about Confucianism or Taoism, but that's just the part of the Chinese people. So because of the patriarch spirit, so they use Buddhism as a tool to grant independency for Vietnam, starting from actually through many centuries, but officially starting from 10th century, Vietnam become an independent country, and throughout many dynasties, there's many great monks and scholars. They serve as the court advisors to guide the kings and so forth. Well, of course, later on, up to the French occupations, there's many priests and missionaries came to the country because of the war and so forth. Now, even now, in Vietnam, the Buddhist population is around between 70 to 80%. So, are you okay? Are you okay? All right, so next one, number 7, please. Number 7. Yeah, no one 7. What's number 7?
I'm number 7, but I haven't done it yet.
Go ahead, just try your best.
What?
Try.
Where are we supposed to get the information from?
Oh, really? Which one? What's
It
about?
was describe Buddhism and monarchs in Thailand, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't have any information. We just picked the numbers today.
No. We picked it last Thursday.
Yeah.
Ah, so this was for. Oh crap!
You,
It's because I missed last class, so I
For the
picked.
next.
Oh, okay.
So I do 7 for both of them, for 16 and 17.
You can probably pick which one you want to do. So already
Were you here on Thursday?
Were you here last
I wasn't here last Thursday.
Oh, so who does number 7 here? Mary? We have more Mary here. Okay, yeah, Thailand. Actually, remember I showed you video clips last time? According to the consensus, is about between 80 to 90% of population is Buddhist. So, but Buddhism spread to Thailand, actually according to the historical or a legend too, during the Ashoka times. And there's many kings follow Buddhism, especially the Dhamma traditions, as same as the Burmese king too. And later on, during the 19th century, there was a Thai king. He became monks. He for periods of times and devised the tradition of monkhood life. And that's why they respect him up to now. So that, and there's some hierarchies in Thai Buddhism. They have the highest one is the patriarch, and the other, this is like the charge,
Pyramid.
the pyramids. Yeah. So that's why it's when you go to Thailand, you see the temples everywhere. Plus, they respect the king much that if someone's admonished the kings, that person may go to the jail because the people they respect him too much because of his protection for the country as well as Buddhism. Okay. All right. So let's say number 8 then. Aaron.
I read a little bit, but not as much as I should have.
About what?
The Buddhism and monarchs in Burma.
Yeah, Burma. Yeah.
So it came to Burma in the 11th century. Although some people think it was before then, but that's usually what they agree upon. And the emperor or the monarch at the time was Anagratha. He actually had a spiritual counselor whose name I can't remember right now. I'm sorry. Who advised that he didn't see Buddhism, which was the Theravada. And the monarch actually tried to get some spiritual scriptures from the kingdom of Mon, but that monarch refused, and so Anagratha basically just waged war, conquered it, and took the scriptures and brought it back. So he's actually really known for spreading that kind of Buddhism and for building a lot of like statues and stuff like that, doing a lot of art. And his son actually kept on with it, did religious reform and as well, sent a mission to India, I believe, to restore the temple there. And actually, there's an interesting story between him and his son as well. We won't get into that. And then the other monarchs just kind of like they stopped animal sacrifice and did more in scripture and stuff like that. But mainly just read about it.
When did you come here?
About 4 years.
4 years
Yeah.
ago. So when you were there, they had, I think, in the
Are you talking about the saffron revolution?
You saw that?
Yeah, yeah.
What happened then? Can you tell them?
It was like the monks were protesting.
Okay, you know this story? Help them
I
again.
know monks could protest.
The monks were protesting, like they were just walking around and like because the president wasn't a president, it was a dictator and like a military regime, so they wanted that to be gone. And then they started killing all the monks. And yeah.
They call Sharon, right?
Sharon. S-A-F-F. Yeah.
H-A-F-F?
R-O-N.
Saffron.
Saffron Revolution.
Right. You were there?
No.
Why? You still waiting?
My mom was there.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Is this in Rangoon?
Yes. Well, it was in Russia.
Many people were killed?
Many people were killed, yeah.
Alright. Many monks were killed.
Many
too,
monks,
right?
yeah. And they put them into jail and
Now it's better, right?
it's better now.
Alright, so this is good. Okay, I think this topic will be more interesting.
And
Go ahead, number 9. Buddha is number 9. Yes, this is more interesting, right? Go ahead.
It's all about euthanization and Buddhism.
First of all, can you tell them what's meant by what do you call it? Euthanasia? What's this mean?
It's like whenever a patient, whether it be human or animal, is in such a bad condition that they consider putting them down. In Buddhism, it says that they're not to kill any living beings, but they say suicide as a form of euthanization does not technically follow that. And they give discourses in the Vakali Sutta, in which a monk is suffering from a horrible, terrible illness, and he says he's going to kill himself with a knife. And the Buddha meditates on it, and he sees 2 devas who says that it's okay, and he ends up killing himself, but it does not affect his karmic cycle. And a similar one in the Chana Sutta says a similar thing, but it also says that at the end he attained freedom from the rounds of rebirth and death. And the Dalai Lama also goes on to say that euthanization should be avoided at most costs, but to treat it in individual cases. Like if a child were to kill a mother, or if it was a really horrible, painful disease, then maybe.
Who has family members or parents in that type of situations, in a painful situation? You want to share what happened? No. That some type of the disease, the illness could not be curable, right? Especially in a painful mood. I have seen one lady, she's at that time, 3 months before she passed away, her family member hooked up her with the breathing machine. Have you seen the breathing machine before?
Yeah.
It's terrible. What do you think? It's better to take it off. It's better to hook up. What do you think? Take off?
It's
Why?
a case by case.
It's painful, so like for the body, you can say that.
Oh, really?
It like forces the air. It's not.
Not the body, right? But the machine. So if this happened to you or to your family members, you decide to take it out?
Yeah.
How about life support? You need to keep life support in some cases, right?
It depends.
Huh?
It depends.
You can.
Yeah, I think the Dalai Lama mentioned comas.
They could be on life support waiting for the body part to
Yes.
transplant.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's okay in that.
I feel like, everyone has their own opinion, obviously, but definitely for like temporary things, not for a long period of time.
Have you seen anyone came back to life after coma?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes? What happened then? How long? How long the person stayed in coma?
He's on a coma for 3 weeks.
2 weeks?
3.
With the prayer or your kid came back naturally?
Well, we prayed for him, yeah.
Huh?
We prayed for him.
Oh,
But he just came back, like, he's on life support and he just woke up one day and started talking to us.
really?
Back to normal.
Yeah.
That was breakdown.
That's great. How about you?
Yeah. There was a case like that in the ICU.
Uh-huh.
A patient, his family found him. He was like completely unconscious and stuff, and like he was in a coma for 3 months.
3
Then-
months?
3 months.
Wow.
Yeah. Then like one day he woke up, and with physical therapy and stuff, he was able to leave just fine. We don't really know why.
Actually, I did know in prayer to wake up one man from that coma situation. Want to hear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a miracle that you asked me about. Yeah, it's a few years ago in Louisville. There's a man. He's in his in early 50. So somehow one day he fell down to the road, and his sister took him to the emergency emergency room, and somehow they scanned his brain twice, and the doctor pronounced he's dead. And of course, they decide to have life support for him. But his family members decide to take it out, to take the life support off. And so here, because he has only one sister, so his sister requires me to do the prayer for him, and I did it for a couple of weeks. When he was in coma, and he got back. This is many detail. I decided special sutra. It's called Rediscover Buddhism Sutra. For more than a week, so he got back. Sometimes your prayer could work. Could or could not work depend upon your sincerity as well as your karma too. Or even without the prayer, they can wake up themselves too. So but no matter what do you think? If people in that state of mind, in the coma state of mind, they could understand you or no? Yeah, they can understand you. They could hear you, and they could hear anything that you say. Of course, depend upon the illness too. So whichever thing you say, whichever you pray for them, they recognize. And that's why, remember I told you when we talk about the Tibetan Book of Death, I don't know whether I told you yet. After someone passed away, we keep that body for 8 hours. Did I tell you that? Right? I told you that, right? You know why? We respect the body as well as just let the spirit to go out the body naturally. So do the common people. We respect them to pray for them. Right? And of course, sometimes it's so painful, right? People want to go, and actually, in what do you call Switzerland, is that right? Some country in Europe, or even in this country, some state allow what called doctor assist, right?
Assisted suicide.
Assisted suicide, right? Some state, right? In Oregon, don't go there, right? Oregon or some state, I forgot. So anyway, it really depends.
I think it's only like if you're totally terminal and there's like no coming back.
Yeah, it really depends on the situation. Okay, good. Let's just do okay. The next one, number 10, please. Buddhism and yourself. What's about?
Buddhist views on abortion.
Abortion, yeah.
There really is no single Buddhist view on concerning abortion, but if it involves the deliberate destruction of life, then it should be rejected. The Dalai Lama said that Buddhist people don't condone the taking of another life, but we must respect and understand and show compassion towards that living being who, is making that decision. the Buddhist views on abortion depend on regional views. So for Northern Buddhism, for example, like Tibet, abortion is completely rejected, so it's not allowed at all. But for Southern Buddhism, like Thailand, where people get when women are often raped there, and that's one situation where abortion is understandable and is allowable. But for East Asia and Europe and the United States, they're very open-minded about abortion, and it's depending on that person, if they're making the right decision. If they gave it some thought about it, then it's not acceptable, but it's understandable.
Especially you guys still young, right? Alright, so be careful about that karma according to Buddhist tradition or views. As much as 1 month or 2 months fetus, that's a form of life. If you terminate, that's you kill a human life. So be careful. And I know many middle-aged in the book ladies, sometimes they regret that when they're still young, right, they create the karma in that abortion. So you need to yes.
What if that abortion comes from something that you can't control, like a rape?
Oh, yeah, that's an exception too. But still, one lady, she lived in Netherlands. She escaped from Vietnam to Thai refugee camps during the 80s. She was raped by the pirates, and of course, many people encouraged her to terminate that fetus that she did, and now her son is in the 40s. He's really strong. So actually, for the Buddhists, sincere Buddhists, no matter what, if you terminate one life, you may do it karma then. So of course, depend upon situation too, and depend upon your state of mind too. It's your decision. But in Buddhist view, it's better to keep. Otherwise, this is not easy. Another thing is that who have family before? Who have family already here? Okay. All right. So you have that. You have 1 or 2 sons. 1. I have one follower, see a dentist in California a few years ago, more than 10 years ago, when she was pregnant, and she told me that her doctors noticed that she would have Down syndrome. Down syndrome child. It's scary. It's a burden for her. Actually, it's painful for that child. It's burden for her family, so even society too. So she asked me for advice.
Oh my God.
So what should I do? Tell her to terminate, keep it up? What do you think?
I mean, there's a lot of kids with Down syndrome, and it's not like
She's a dentist?
I mean, I don't know.
This is a lifetime lesson, especially for the ladies. I'm not kidding. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Actually, of course, as a monk, I cannot advise her to terminate that unborn child, even with Down syndrome. I just encourage her to do the prayer. We have all kinds of prayer. We decide with the names, Wangam, and so forth, Judah B, Rediscover mantra. She did for Judah B, Rediscover mantra for a couple of weeks. And somehow after that, she visits a different doctor, and he says the child is normal.
Wow.
But I should tell you frankly that no matter what, if you have sincere mind, if you pray, whichever tradition, whether you do Buddhist prayer or Christian prayer, you would have that unborn child. You know why? It's like like when you use the clay, right? You mold the clay. Understand that? In the way that we want to mold. And I know many sincere Buddhists, when they got pregnant, they pray almost every day, and when they have their children, they're so smart, they're so beautiful and handsome because of her prayer. So think about that. So that's why I used to encourage the lady who who's still in the pregnancy periods to pray more of Buddha, Bodhisattva, to look pictures of Buddha and Bodhisattva, don't look at ninja and so forth. Because whatever she see, the baby will see that too. Whatever the mother consumes, things and so forth, it will affect directly to the unborn child. So if you have proper mind, if you have good heart, if you have to mold the brain or the thought or the karma of that child. So in Buddhism, this is talked clearly about that, especially the Tibet Book of Death and some of the Buddhist sutra. I don't know whether I mentioned about this for you yet. In one particular sutra, it says that when a spirit, or we call it intermediate beings, want to enter the wombs of the mother, it would be marchable. Did I tell you this? Would be marchable. What means, like, if you have $1,000, that's all for you to buy the car or the house. That's marchable with that amount of money. If your car is less than that, you could not get that $100,000 house. If you're rich, you can buy different one, the beautiful one. So depending on the karma, it will be marchable with your future parents, and even with your future children too. If you have state of mind, especially later on, you have families, right? And especially the lady, if you are ready to have the children, think about this. Do more pray, keep up positive thought, right? So that you could mold that child in the future. Okay? Alright, so that's why it's so serious. During that period of time. Okay, let's move on. Number 11, please. Yes. What's number 11 about?
The Buddha never actually taught that eating meat was bad. He actually ate meat himself. But as time progressed, different schools adopted different rules. In the Theravada tradition, you can eat fish, pork, and chicken, but in Mahayana, you can't eat meat. But in the Theravada tradition, you can't eat meat and knowing that it was killed for you. So that's the only way that you can eat meat.
About the, what do you call it, genetic meat? You know about that?
Genetically modified.
What do you think?
Like, I don't
They
like
should be able to eat that. Vegetarians eat that.
Personally, I think it's gross. You're adding antibiotics and a bunch of different things that are not natural and not, you're probably eating, like, I don't know. Mass-produced meat is gross, if you look at it.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just mushed together with the bones and the guts and everything. So, it's your personal choice what you put in your body. Pretty much.
Yes, sir.
What about like genetically modified vegetables? Is that like?
This may change our.
Like, I know corn, they actually put the pesticide on the inside of the kernels. That's why you get a full head of ear of corn, right?
They change the DNA of the plant, so
It changes, yeah.
into different diseases and stuff. And we don't know how that will affect us if people have allergies to it or whatever.
Yeah.
They said
Does it make
it'll
more
actually
allergy or
change
less?
our DNA as well.
Just we won't know how.
Eating genetics.
We don't know yet because it's relatively new how it will affect people. There have been people who have like died of like weird allergic reactions and stuff.
It's
very
modifying corn since the early.
Corn now is
It's like
Yeah, but they've already shown that it changes human DNA, doesn't it? Like after consuming.
That's the
Yeah.
theory. I don't know if they have that.
If it's real proof, yeah.
But I think it's kind of like can't believe it's not real butter. If they leave it out, the flies won't even touch it. compared
Yeah,
to
no,
real
there's
butter.
so much stuff like that, it's
Like-
so disgusting.
Nature doesn't like it.
So that's our karma. That's our karma.
Yeah.
And
You're
pretty
finished?
much
Okay.
it's our karma. Of course, nowadays it's mixed with the production, right? Many of the population. So that's why they create this kind of meat, kind of food. So this is our karma. All right, so move on. Number 12 is yours, sir? Yes, sir. Yeah, your favorite one. Go ahead.
It sure is.
Yeah.
So the Buddha didn't write anything on homosexuality, but he did write on like sexual misconduct. So really how one interprets that is really cultural based. And so most people would interpret it as like rape, incest, and adultery. And like so countries such as Burma, before they were colonized, they like didn't have any laws banning homosexuality or anything, and like they were like a Buddhist nation and stuff. But then after Britain came and like colonized it, that's when the laws came and all that stuff. Basically like a Western influence on it. So it just really depends. But what else is there? There was one more. Let's see.
Isn't it karma? Everything's
Karma?
Yeah, and just basically due to like the whole
You have
idea
a
of
root
tolerance.
Right, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Just finish up here. Huh?
That's cool.
What's coming?
You know, few years ago, I didn't know this term in practical sense. So one university invited me to join with that kind of conference, and I went there. It was so much surprise. I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so the next one, number 13,
Right.
independency. Yes, lady.
So I have, let's see, Buddhist views on interdependence, and what I took from that was how it, where there's a relation to a person and everybody else, but there's also a relation to a person and the world the person is living in. So it talks about how we are all related to each other and also related to the environment that we live in. And I related that to some of the beliefs that Buddhists do that I believe in, and an example would be how we don't meet. And the reason for that is it could be because we appreciate and value things around us, as well as people, but also the animals that we live around, and also how a lot of Buddhist culture rely on more natural items such as like herbal medicine and things like that. And then also I related it to also how Buddhist religion doesn't really discriminate against other people, how it accepts different genders and races.
Yeah, in Buddhist view, we are interdependent, right? We are interconnected with each other. Without me, you would not know much about Buddhism. Without you, I cannot give lecture. Right? We are interdependent. And we are independent with our parents, our siblings, even environment. So that's why in our monastery, before we cut down any big trees, we put the note to invite them, to invite the spirit to go out to different places.
You put what?
We poke the poles to invite the spirit of the tree to get out. That's our polite sense.
Yeah.
All right, the last one, number 14, gun control. Who does gun control? No one? What do you think about gun control? For someone, last time I asked you guys, someone had gun at home? Right? Okay, so be careful. So yes, sir, what do you think about gun control? Do we need to have gun control? This has happened many times
Now
for
we
this
have
year,
made it.
right?
I know Buddhists
So
believe
many
that
years, right? So many times, right?
you're not
Sorry.
supposed to partake in murderous institutions or whatever. So I think that would include that.
Probably
Like you
not.
can't sell guns. I
Yeah,
don't know
of
if you
course,
can.
we cannot sell weapons and so forth. So, especially for this year alone, there's so many murders, right? And so be careful the gun that you keep at home. So when you're angry, What happens when you end, you have to go. You may not think.
You don't think?
You may not think, and later on it's too late. Alright, so see you on Tuesday and on Thursday. Okay, so please, if you have topic, email to me, please. Okay, thank you.
Oh,